Welcome to the Big Three Sportscast, where we talk about the big three sports: MLB, NBA, and NFL. Oh, I did that out of order, like I don't usually do it that way. That threw me off really badly.
Oh boy.
But all right. So not gonna redo that. Just saying.
Good start.
But shut up. So this week we're not really gonna get into the NBA. NBA is still in preseason. I mean, yeah, there's a lot to talk about, kind of, but the MLB is in postseason right now, and there's a game going on right now as we're recording this on Thursday. It is 7:53. The Astros game is currently sitting at 4-1, and it's actually now top of the.
Yep.
Astros are crushing.
They had a great first inning.
Yeah, big first inning. I mean, that's all you really need to know. The Astros. I feel like, yeah, it went to 5 games, but were the Astros really in any danger at this point, if you think about it?
Well, I mean, you could argue the same about the Dodgers, but...
Oh, well, the Dodgers lost, so we'll get into that. So, and then, like I said, we've got the NFL. We're going to do our picks again. Actually, we're going to review last week's picks a little bit because some teams got crushed. And
some people called a lot of teams, just for the record.
Yeah, okay.
Not to humble brag or anything.
Just keep telling yourself
but
that, yeah.
Other people did.
You're hilarious.
But so, I mean, right now we're going to kind of get into the MLB. We'll keep going over. We're only going to record for about an hour and a half this week because, like you said, we're kind of busy. This is a hectic week with school and travel. But we'll give you updates as we go along the Astros game. So, but right now it looks like it's set, right? Every other series has been decided, right?
Yeah, the ALDS on the Yankees side was decided. Yankees swept. The NLDS was decided yesterday with the Braves getting hammered by the Cardinals in a massive 10-run first inning, which broke a postseason record. That was honestly really shocking and set a huge tone for yesterday's upsets alone. And then to top it all off, after losing 13-1, the Braves ended up the Braves catcher Brian McCann, which I don't know if he was a starting catcher or not, but he retired after that game. I'm not sure if I just know he was a legendary player for the Braves. But in the next game that happened the following night, or that night, the Dodgers and Nationals played a late game, and the Dodgers kind of got off to a hot start in the first inning. It was about 3-0, and then Nationals crept back, and off the back of 2 back-to-back home runs against Clayton Kershaw by Anthony Rendon and Juan Soto, the Nationals ended up getting a grand slam in extra innings to take the series and go to the NLCS. Another shocking upset because, 1, they had never been, and 2, the Dodgers had 106 wins and were the best NL team by far. So, very, very interesting NLDS this year.
Big oof.
Yeah,
from Dodgers fans.
With their payroll to lose this way, and how they lost, and where they lost, yikes.
I was watching something the other day. It was actually it's just a video on Clayton, like how Clayton kind of chokes away the playoffs.
Oh, he's terrible in it. He has the worst ERA in history.
But that's the thing. He wasn't actually starting that game, right?
No, he came in and he did his job for when he was supposed to came in. He came in I think it was the 7th inning or the end of the 7th to get one left-handed
They came in to give him a hold, right?
Yeah, he had a guy on second or third, and there was a left-handed batter he had to face at the top of the lineup, and he struck the guy out, I believe. And then for some reason, Dave Roberts decided it was the smartest thing in the world to keep him in another inning with his record of how bad he has been in the postseason to face the next 3 batters. It only took 2 because he gave up back-to-back home runs on 3 pitches.
Punished him.
Yeah, he was real fast, got kicked out of there. Tied the game up 3-3. After that, it went to extra innings. Neither team could get ahead. Oh, the Dodgers were actually about a foot away from winning the game on a solo shot to right field, which just couldn't carry far enough for them. Very, very sad for them on that one. And the guy did a bat flip because he thought he had won it.
Oh.
Just came up short on, which is pretty funny.
Little premature celebration.
Little premature bat flip there. Thought he won it. And so after that, the next half inning, They kept in Joe Kelly from the previous 9th inning into the 10th, who had kind of choked last year in the World Series as well. So that was kind of an interesting choice to keep him up when they had Kenley Jansen, who they hadn't used at all the whole game, still in the bullpen. Now, he had been really bad in the past recently. He had not done well at all, but they still had him. And the Nats loaded the bases on Joe Kelly. Well, they walked a third guy, but blah, blah, blah. Loaded the bases. Anyway, once that happened, the next person, who was Howie Kendrick, hit a grand slam to center field. I don't remember how many pitches it took, but it was he had been doing terrible all series, so it was actually kind of a smart play to walk the guy, or to walk the guy to get to Howie and hit the grand slam. But he had been doing bad all series. It was like 4 for 20 or something crazy like that. And
at that point, he's
yeah, it was a big shot. It was a big shock for everyone.
That's a point too. He's hitting 200. That's definitely
it wasn't. It was yeah, exactly. You take that over the guy who just hit a solo home run against Clayton Kershaw. So, I mean, you would, if you're the Dodgers, I think you probably take that matchup. But Joe Kelly was just, he did what he always does in the playoffs. Exactly, and it was actually funny because the Howie Kendrick was a former Dodger before he joined the Nats. So, it was.
Well, I think overall story here is you're a little happier today now that you're.
I am significantly happier today because that was the first time the Nats had ever advanced the playoff series ever. Now the Expos did it in '81, but it was a different. They weren't called the Nats; they were called the Washington or the Montreal Expos, just the same branch of the same organization. But now that under the Nationals banner, which has been there for almost 20 years now. That's the first time they've ever advanced past the NLDS.
14. Where'd you get 20 from?
I mean,
first year was
almost
like
15 years. Almost 15 years. Apologies. Anyway, so that was the first year after, because the Nationals had gone to the postseason. I think this is the 4th or 5th time.
I think this is the 4th year.
4th, okay, so it's either one of those two. It's the 4th or 5th year. This is the first year we hadn't gone straight to the NLDS, but they got to the NLDS and they had always lost. Now, whether gone to a Game 4 or Game 5, they had never advanced, and they were just known for choking the last game, whatever it was. And to beat the Dodgers in this type of way at LA is kind of a big deal because that's, one, extremely hard to do. They had the best record in the NL, and two, Dodger Stadium is one of the hardest stadiums to beat the Dodgers in. They have one of the best home records in all of MLB. So it's very interesting to see two teams get that badly upset in their home stadiums on the same night. So
here's a question, because now, they advanced to the ALCS, right? Who's got home field advantage?
Well, it's the NLCS, and
right?
so the
NL.
Cardinals had the better beat the Nats in the regular season series, so they get home field advantage.
I thought it was by seeding.
No. Well, either way, the Cardinals get home field advantage.
Well, that's stupid.
Because the Nats were the wild card team.
Oh yeah, no, that's right.
So even if it was by seeding, which I don't think it is, but even if it was, they'd still not beat. But
no. If it was
the MLB playoffs doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the MLB playoff system's very weird how it works, but basically, I think since the weird what if scenario played out in this NLDS, because the season series went for the Cardinals 5-2, they have home field advantage. That's what I'm told. I'm not 100% sure if that's why, but either way, they do have it.
Oh, I got it. So Garrett Cole, by the way, threw another.
Oh, is he
good
struggling?
Inning,
okay. I didn't know if he was starting to struggle or not, because he had struggled that second inning, but clearly not.
I'm gonna say this: when I watched baseball, I got to see Garrett Cole pitch one game in my entire life, and that was in Pittsburgh when he played for the Pirates.
Oh, I forgot.
And you know what? He was still an all-star then. He just never got recognized because he played for a crap team. I'm so happy he was able to get out. I quit following baseball because the Pirates suck. I think it's really funny. I was watching Pat McAfee earlier, Pat McAfee show, and he's talking about how he's they were talking about. Well, it was really funny because they were talking about playoffs or who was the GOAT, who was the GOATest GOAT of all of sport. And it was Michael Jordan, and then they asked him, why didn't he put Gretzky in there? He's like, because I'm a Lemieux guy. And he's like, maybe that's why I wasn't a baseball fan. Baseball sucked. I'm like, yeah, that's about right.
A Lemieux guy? DJ LeMayu?
No, Lemieux.
Oh
no,
my
Lemieux
God.
is in Mario Lemieux. He's a hockey player.
Oh, I don't
played for the
know. I'm
Penguins.
sorry. I don't know who that is. Apologies.
It's okay.
I'm not a hockey historian like some people.
Actually, I mean, it's not like
I know who Gretzky
We'll
is,
talk
but
about-
if you said Lemieux, I would
we'll
never.
talk. We'll
guess
talk
it.
about that another day. But
Yeah.
long story short, Lemieux had his career ended early because he had cancer in his
Ah,
back.
okay.
Like I think it was cancer in his back, like in his spine,
Gotcha.
and he had to quit early. And then he got it fixed, and he's like, I have to quit super.
Yeah. I got
So
you.
like that's McAfee's quote unquote hockey goat, which I'm not gonna argue with that. But long story short, Pittsburgh baseball sucks. We don't watch it. We watch hockey and football because that's all we have.
Right
Don't
now, you
have
don't
a
even have
basketball team,
football.
so yeah, I know. We don't have a hockey team either.
Do you
I
root
don't
for
know.
the Sixers?
Do I root for the Sixers?
Yeah.
That is a good question. Do you?
So for me, okay. So
'Cause
for
you
me,
could.
I always watched. I mean, that is true. I always, when I grew up watching basketball, always watched AI, but I also like watching
Ah.
Lakers because I was like watching Kobe in
Mhm.
his prime when I was watching basketball.
But of course.
Well, I mean,
Who
when
didn't?
You watch Kobe in his prime or Shaq, and they're yeah. Who else do I watch?
Exactly.
But so then I kind of faded away because I started playing sports.
Right.
Like at that point, I was really old enough to start playing like real sports, not just like t-ball, coach pitch or something. So I quit watching sports and started playing sports, and now I finally, well, after a couple years, I started getting back into it. And by then, it was like LeBron was with the Heat, and I was like, I don't care. And the Sixers were tanking, and they were trying to figure out what the hell they.
They might be better now.
No, they're a little bit. They're a little bit better
A
now.
little bit better. Little
I don't-
bit.
I don't have a favorite bad. And some people say that's a cop out, and I'm like, nah, bro. I like watching like
To be
good
fair,
basketball.
I've never cared so much about the NBA tour. I was like, oh my god, I watch this team every year, die-hard fan, right? But I generally root for the Wizards. However, a couple years ago, about 8 years ago, I really like Steph Curry. And I started to watch him before the Warriors started their whole dynasty crap.
Bandwagon.
No. I was watching them at least 2 years before
Bandwagon.
they were on the. I was watching before 2 years before they even became good. Like they are in the playoffs, and I was like loving watching this guy play. And so the next 4 to 5 years, maybe even 6, up until I think when I was 20, I was a huge fan of the Warriors. And then they brought in KD, and that just kind of ruined it for me.
Well, I mean, that's just
And
like basketball was ruined before that.
I was just
okay.
not really interested in the Warriors anymore, so I stopped watching them, and now I just kind of watch whoever I find interesting each year in the
Well, I mean,
NBA.
I understand that, but for me, since that like before I got back into basketball, hockey, it still is.
Yeah,
But basketball and hockey's like schedules conflict because they're in the exact same time. The playoffs are around the exact same time.
That
so
is
when
true.
like, and over the past few years, Pittsburgh's been like really good.
yeah.
So I was like, oh yeah, I gotta watch. And then I start watching hockey and I get stuck into it. And like when Pittsburgh made their cup runs in 16 and 17, I was like, here we go, boys. And we won, and they won both years. I'm just like, great, I love it. And now they suck. So I'm
Yeah,
gonna go back to basketball.
I get it. Well,
But
I think we
see,
should
the thing is,
Look,
well, let me just say this one more thing real quick. The
Yeah.
thing is about Pittsburgh basketball, like they have two choices. They can either root for Philly or root for Cleveland because they're the closest.
Right.
So it's more of a toss-up, and nobody wants to root for the Wizards because the Wizards suck. Like
That's a joke.
we live near DC. Yeah, I want to root for the Wizards, but they suck so bad I don't want to root. For
It's hard to root for Washington teams right now, except for the Nats,
Well, yeah, the Nats. Well, the Nats and the Caps are like their best chance right now.
which is so sad considering what this town used to be. But you know, it is what it is.
It's okay. All right,
It
but
is
back to
what-
our little baseball thing.
Right. So
Yeah,
you were
it's
talking
it's
about
to go to
the
the top of the fourth.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you were talking about the playoffs, the ALCS and the NLCS, right?
Well, yeah, because that's where we are now. I mean,
Right.
Like if in right now the way it's looking, if the game
Right.
ended
If
this inning,
Tampa
it'd be
Bay
Astros.
or if Houston holds on,
Yeah, it's
Um,
gonna.
so then it'll be Houston against the Yankees, and Dan would obviously be the best perpetuator of that series. But
Well, Dan's gonna pick the Yankees, but he's saying it's gonna take 7.
He thinks it's gonna go 7 because he thinks it's gonna be a hard ass game, a hard ass series. But and then it's gonna be the Cardinals versus the Nationals. Now, so that means either only one team. If I well, actually no. Okay, so that's wrong because one team Yeah, so only one team with 100+ wins is going to go to the World Series. Only if the Astros hold on, that means only one team, which is kind of surprising considering we had all figured it was going to be either. I mean, the Braves didn't get 100, but they had like 98 or 99, so really, really close. And the Dodgers obviously had 106, so I mean they were figured to go to the World Series, and they're both gone. So the two top teams that were predicted to go to the World Series from the NL are gone. If you had to guess, who do you think in the NL goes to the World Series?
All right, so I'm gonna say this. Like anytime, like I said, I used to watch Pittsburgh baseball, and anytime they saw the Cardinals, it was just like that was
what?
Every time that was just it.
Oh,
okay. The Cardinals period would win.
Right.
So there's something about them that consistently lets them get to like
St. Louis in the playoffs is so different.
Yeah, I know, it's super weird. They can have like, oh, we'll just hit the wild card, but after that, look out, we're coming.
Yeah, they turn it like I remember. The only time the Nats have faced the St. Louis in the playoffs, even though they've both been in the NL, the only time they faced them in the playoffs was the first year the Nats ever went to the NLDS, and we survived the game.
Drew Storen?
Yeah, so we were gonna go to the NLCS, but we brought in a closer who was the biggest choker in Nats history, and he completely choked away the last.
I don't know. You had Papelbon at one point.
That's true. But that was more recently. I'm talking back in 2012. And in 2012, we had Drew Storen, and he choked away the entire series to the Cardinals, and they went on. Now, we took it to Game 5, granted, but that was an entirely different team, both sides of the ball, I'm sure. So, the Nats, I mean, they have kind of a small history, I guess, in that aspect, but we don't really have a history of playing the Cardinals too much. We only played them 7 games this year. So I think it's going to be a game where you look at the series and you go, the Cardinals on paper probably don't have the same talent in starting pitching the Nats do. Mm-hmm. They have equal to or even considerably better in hitting that the Nats do, though. Their bullpen is better because the Nats bullpen is still the worst in the postseason. It's bad. Period. It's real bad. But they didn't have to use it in this. That's the thing. That was the difference with the Dodgers and the Nats. The Nats didn't have to use their terrible mid-relief pitchers because their starting pitchers carried them every game. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, in a 7-game series, if it goes more than 4, that's not going to be an option because your starting pitchers can't play back to back to back to back to back to back to back. You just can't do it that many times. And if it goes 7, that's even worse for the Nats. They want to end this series fast. They don't want to go 4, or they don't want to go 5, 6, or 7. They want to go a sweep. Obviously, you always want to sweep, but that is if it goes more than 5, I think the Nats lose because they have to probably rely on a terrible mid-relief bullpen. And unless it just magically changes from that 5.8 ERA it had in the summer, it's just going to be bad.
So what you're saying is they need to finish this 4 or 5.
I think
going 6 and 7's dangerous.
Going 6 is very dangerous. Going 6 is extremely dangerous. Going 7 is near impossible unless some miracle happens and they can take a pitcher out. Like they're like, say like one of the first 3 games, one of their team just gets up like 5-0, 6-0, and they can bring up the starter out early, right? And they have such a big lead they don't have to worry about that game. If that happens, they probably would get a free game. But that's not likely to happen against a team that hits as well as the Cardinals. So, of course their pitching is not as great as starting pitching, but their bullpen is better, and so they are going to be less afraid to bring out their starting pitcher and put in their bullpen than the Nats will, and they know that, and they're going to play it like they want to. They're going to want to stretch this series out. That's what they're hoping to tire out the Nats starting pitchers to the point where they have to bring in their bullpen.
I feel like if I'm the Cardinals, like if you can get through the first pitcher for the Nats, first starter and the second starter, so that'd be Matt.
Strasburg just pitched, so it'd be Max, Strasburg, and Patrick Corbin.
Well, yeah, no, but what about Scherzer? Is Scherzer not on the second spot?
Scherzer will probably pitch game 1 because Strasburg just pitched.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is if Scherzer pitches game 1,
Right.
Strasburg will have that plenty of couple of days rest.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll probably be like I bet for me, I bet it would be Scherzer then Strasburg. But I feel like if the Cardinals can get through those two with one win,
Yeah.
the Nats are in.
Oh yeah, I think if they don't like the hardest part is obviously the thing that's going against the Nats the most here is the fact that they have to start in St. Louis, and then I mean that hasn't been the biggest factor this playoffs because road teams are having surprisingly big luck in the playoffs this year so far, except against the Yankees because they dominated their season or their sweep.
Is
but
their field like one of the best pitchers fields besides Kansas City?
it is. But I think what the Nats' biggest problem is they're going to have to the first two games with their top two pitchers are going to be a bit tired because they have pitched a lot. That's how they got through the NLDS because they had to go pretty much close to 7 innings every game. So
now you got the 7-game series. So
and now you have now you have a 7-game series in which you pretty much have to do the exact same thing you just did, except that's even longer. So it like you said, if they get one win, the Nats are going to be in trouble. They're going to have to sweep their 2 games in DC and hope they can steal one away. Because I don't actually know. I forget how the 7-game series. Do they go once they go from their 2 games at home on both sides? Do they go back and forth and back and forth?
Whoever has home field advantage, first 2 games are there. Then the second 2 games are at the other team, and then they alternate the last.
Okay, so I was right.
Well,
so
see,
it's back and forth.
So,
The
now
last
that's
3.
so weird because, I think, what is it? The NBA used to do, I mean, they still might do it, but it's like somebody's got their system messed up. I'm pretty sure it's the NBA because the NBA used to do 2-2, 1-2, or it'd be 2, 3, and then 2.
Right.
I'm like, somebody's messing this up because the way MLB and NHL do it is the right way. It's supposed to be 2, 2, then alternate.
Yeah, it does make sense that way. It's more fair. But like I said, if the Nats can take 2 at home and take 1 from St. Louis, I think they win. However, if they go split it down the middle like they did with the Dodgers, I think St. Louis is gonna.
They're in trouble.
That St. Louis has the longevity factor where their bullpen can bail them out their starting pitchers. The Nats don't have that luxury. So the Nats bats have been. I mean, they've been good-ish, but they've been really bad during a lot of the early innings.
Is it Rendon?
Yeah.
Rendon, yes.
I mean, pretty sure he's been crushing it.
Well, he had been really quiet this series to the last 2 games, and then he kind of turned it up. Like, he had 3 hits the game 5, and then he had, 2 the game before that.
I heard he closed out the season.
He closed out the season really bad.
Really bad?
Oh, yeah, no. For the last 2 to I think the last month or so, maybe a little less, he had been 5 for 40 or something. He was in the low. His average dropped 20 points.
Oh dang.
Yeah, so I mean he was struggling the end of the season, but now he's come back a little bit, and hopefully that's the last 2 games have brought back his confidence or whatnot. But you can definitely see the difference in where the Nats are they're going to want to win early, and I think they're going to attack the Cardinals in a way they're probably not going to be used to. Almost like the Braves kind of did, but the Braves had a whole different scheme and stuff for that game.
They had a
lot of different ideas, and none of them worked. But the Nats are going to want to win this series as fast as possible. That's my take on it, at least.
I mean, I get it. It makes sense.
Because you don't want to have to use tired starting pitchers, and your bullpen, when you know is really bad and you can't use your starting pitchers for 7 innings, you're going to have to go to it. You're going to have to score runs. And the one thing the Nats have struggled at least besides the last 2 games, is scoring runs early in games. They've been doing better late game like they always have the whole season, but early, the first 7 innings of a game, they basically have 3 runs in the last 3 games.
I mean, if that's the case, it sounds like if the Cardinals put up 10, the Nats are in trouble. I mean, if
they have to go to their bullpen at all, and the Cardinals destroy the bullpen, the Nats are gonna lose that game probably.
All right,
but then you go to the ALCS, and it's a little different considering the Astros are still winning this game 4-1, and it doesn't look like they're gonna lose it. But
right now it's actually top 4. There's a man on first, so.
Oh, okay.
That game's still. It's still so early. It's only 4th inning.
Right.
We've seen big innings lately, so I would not put it past anyone.
But like I would say, given how it probably if Houston holds on and they face the Yankees, who do you think wins that? 'Cause that's a toss up to me.
I mean, I'm no baseball expert, but I think because the Yankees Park is a pitcher's park, yeah, because it's a lot deeper to hit home runs.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the Yankees are super good at home, aren't they? Right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they had, I think, the best AL home record. I could be wrong.
So, I mean, in that case, then if I think about it, I think, honestly, yeah, they'll hit bombs, but are they really going to be able to, like, keep that up? Because the thing is with hitting home runs, like, when I was always taught playing baseball, you hit for average, if you hit for average, so, like, the higher your average is, the more of a chance you have of scoring.
Right.
Right? So if you have 2-3 guys hitting 400, that's 1 for 3. 400. Can't even do math.
Yeah.
If you're hitting, so if you're 4 for 12, right?
Right.
That's still. How am I trying to do? Whatever. Now, you get what I'm saying though. 400. If you're hitting 400 versus a guy who's hitting 200 but hitting 2 jacks, so 2 for 10, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got more consistent runs if I've got three people hitting above 330.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the Astros do versus the Yankees.
Right.
Like home run hitters. But the thing is, the Yankees' averages are really high still for hitting that many bombs.
That's true.
So it's still like Dan's not here, so he could give you a true lowdown on it. But I feel like I know Dan would say it's going to go 7 games, but I feel like you said, if a team takes over, who's the first seed? Is it still the Astros, or is the
Astros are still first?
Astros.
So I feel like if the Astros take 1 game in New York, I think the Astros.
I don't see how the Yankees pitching can compare to the Astros pitching. I know they have good pitchers, like the Yankees won as many games as they did without good pitching, but the Astros pitching is just so much better. And given that, like you said, Yankees Park is kind of, I mean, I know the Yankees hit a shit ton of home runs this year.
They just hit bombs.
Every game was just massive amounts. But even given that, I don't see how, especially in the playoffs, how it's going to be where, with how good pitching can be and how shut down a starting pitcher can be, how the Yankees are going to do against an Astros pitcher who doesn't give up home runs that often in Yankees Park.
Mm-hmm. Last week I was looking at some stats, just like head-to-head stats for the Yankees batters. The Houston batters versus the Yankees pitching had a higher average than the Yankees batters as Houston's pitching.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, I mean, if Houston keeps that trend up, I mean, and it's baseball, and
anything can happen.
Anything happens. You can flip a coin. One day they'll be on, the next day.
Yeah.
So it's entirely.
I think the Yankees
probably
will
gonna be one of the better of, like, baseball. Sometimes has like blowout series. I feel like this is gonna be a better series. If Houston wins this.
Probably.
I feel like if Tampa Bay wins, like, just say Tampa comes back.
That would be wild. If Tampa does win this game and they face the Yankees, I don't give Tampa a chance. They just don't have the hitting to compete with the Yankees. They might have the pitching to compete with them, but they don't have the hitting.
They do not have the.
And I mean,
I feel like you're. I don't give Tampa a single, like. There's like a light at the end of the tunnel, but it's so small they can't even fit their pinky.
I mean, they said the same thing about the Nats' chances to beat the Dodgers, so anything can happen.
But when you put Kershaw in and he chokes, then what do you want?
Yeah, I mean, crazy. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the management for the Yankees is a little bit better than that.
Well, I mean, we'll see. We will see. Yeah, they didn't really have much competition their first series this year, or the ALDS. So we'll see how it goes in the CS.
I think in the CS, the ALCS, if the Astros split with the Yankees in Houston, but then Houston gets a game. I feel like if Houston gets a game in New York,
Right.
When they play their 2 home games, I think Houston comes out with. Because
Yeah.
I don't think Houston just loses home games like that.
No, they don't. It's very. I mean, just watching, this game even on mute, you can tell this crowd is very torched to win a World Series again.
The Tampa's already throwing in their backups.
Yeah, I mean they already took out their starting pitcher. They're
Yep.
throwing everything they have at this because they know how hard it is to win here. So I mean, clearly it's gonna be hard for the Yankees, but I think they might get favored once at home. I'm not sure if they will be, but I think Houston will get favored throughout the series, and I can't see the Yankees having the depth to compete with the Astros' depth that they have.
Their starting lineup
is
so
just
good.
so hard to stop. I mean, just the first 3 batters are just basically like murderer's row, pretty much. Even though they're like murderer's row for like hits and not home runs.
That ball, it's the murderer's row for the ball. That
Exactly,
ball's gone.
just the ball. It doesn't even it doesn't have to be a home run. They just hit it wherever they want to, and you saw it if you watched the first inning of the Tampa Bay game. You saw the first 4 batters all got hits on the Astros against the Tampa's best pitcher. So, I mean,
yeah, it's definitely it's gonna be. This is why I don't watch baseball at all. Sometimes I don't like. I don't like just watching.
right.
That gets. But where I do live, I'm close enough to the Nats Park where if I wanted to, I could if I really wanted to. But,
Right.
Matt?
Well, okay, we didn't really ask you, Cole. What do you think, though?
For Yankees Astros,
Both of them, honestly.
If that's a turnout.
Yeah.
I think just the pitching
The
will
pitch.
get them through it.
Okay.
Plus, they have home field advantage, so I don't see it with the Yankees
that does
at
help.
all.
All right, so what do you got? Who do you have in the NLCS then?
Nationals.
All right. Going with the hometown
Dan,
team.
I'll say this much: Dan did pick the Nats.
He said
almost
Nats
immediately.
versus Astros, right? Or
Yeah.
no, Nats versus
he said Nats
Yankees.
versus
He said
Yankees.
Nats Yankees.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
he
true.
did. So I will give Dan that.
I'll give him
definitely
credit. He
called
did
them.
pick the Nats over the Dodgers, which was
He did.
I was surprised to see it, and I thought it was an interesting pick too.
I was
but
glad to see. Yeah,
I'm surprised that it worked out that way. I'm glad it worked out that way. I really, when it was 3-0, I figured, okay, this is just how every season goes when the Nats get to the playoff series. But it was a shocking turn of events, to say the least. But I think that is everything we covered in the MLB, right?
Yeah, basically, I mean, the MLB is winding down. Pretty soon we'll get to the World Series, and then basketball will be starting in a hurry.
I know you're excited for basketball.
Not. I mean, yes, but also no, because I mean, I still don't like. I like the dynamic duo versus the big 3 the super team
I
function.
hate these super teams that keep forming every year.
Yeah,
I wish. I don't know. My opinion on basketball will be unpopular by many. So,
I mean, I don't know about that.
well, I know Cole disagrees with my opinion on basketball wholeheartedly. So,
You're wrong.
What is it?
I find this dynamic where you incorporate all these star players and every offseason these star players who are best friends with each other all try to get their GMs to sign them by whatever means necessary, and they go from. I mean, the KD was kind of the start of it, but now you got basically the best players doubled up on every team, and then 3 technically amazing players on one team. So I mean, LA has just 2 super teams, and that's about it. West Coast. I mean, Golden State's still there. Yeah, I guess.
No, Golden State.
Golden State's gonna be a little.
Klay Thompson's. Did you hear about Klay Thompson's doc? This is real quick.
Oh.
Did you hear about Klay Thompson's doctor? What he told him?
No, I don't know.
He said you need to quit goofing off and let that thing heal before it gets even more messed up.
Oh wow.
He told him, he's like, you need to stop.
Wow.
Because Klay had the surgery and then immediately went.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And his doctor was this was a while ago, but his doctor was like, you need to chill, boy, or else you're gonna be really hurt.
I got you. See,
But
that's
so,
I hate this dynamic. I wish because this is it's not making the league more competitive. It's making it less competitive. It's making it so that teams are not. It's making it so that teams that have absolutely there are teams that have literally no prayer of being good. That is.
The
I mean, like
Warriors-
they're used to like the NBA used to have this like phenomenon every year. I mean, the last kind of few years it's been different, but before the Warriors became so good, any team kind of had their chance to win. It was like any team on each side, West and East Conference, both.
sitting there
Shut up,
laughing.
Cole. I know you're laughing, but almost any team had a chance to upset teams.
No.
Yes, they did.
No.
Yes,
No,
they
no.
did. Okay, tell me before
All right,
the Warriors
the
dynasty
Cleveland Cavaliers,
started.
who lost 26,
Before the Warriors,
they had a chance to beat the Heat with LeBron, Bosh, and Wade.
before
Back
the
up.
Warriors and before the Heat, before all these super teams started. Tell me
Technically-
how many years in a row the same team won a championship.
I mean,
The
the
last
Spurs,
time
the
it-
Spurs
this-
had their dynasty pretty much.
Yeah,
The
but that
last
was
time a team
and that was not
repeated
superstars on every time
was-
on their whole team. That was it was good
I think
players,
it
but it
was
wasn't a
4
super
Hall
team.
of Famers.
I don't think that, but they were all at the end of their career.
No.
For the Heat, the last team to repeat was the Lakers in 2009 and 10.
Okay, what I'm saying is name like a
Wait, no.
5-year period where one team won
before
at
the-
least 3 of those championships, and that's my point. There wasn't before these super teams. Every year was competitive. There were teams who would go on playoff runs who shouldn't.
Hold on 1 second.
There were just like there was these.
He's about to go
I know he's about to go
It's
off,
up.
but I get it. He disagrees with me because he thinks the NBA is more competitive now. He loves this. He loves
I
the fact
think-
that these players are
I think
doubling up
this
on
year-
teams and
This year's
stuff.
going to be way more competitive. Well, actually,
I mean,
KD
yeah, it's going to be more competitive than past years,
with
but it's
KD's injury and.
but that's the thing though. It's
other
not
things.
going to be competitive. More, you guys think everyone says it's going to be more competitive because there's better players on players on more teams. They just switched the name of the team that they're on. That's all they did. They didn't spread out the wealth through the whole NBA. They just went to a different team.
Eastern Conference is looking really good.
Well,
The
that's
Western
because
Conference
there's
is
young
looking really
talent that's
good.
coming in from college that's doing that. That's not these pro All-Star Hall of Fame first Hall of Fame ballot players switching teams. That's just teams building up their lineups. That's all.
The Nets were like, we have open slots. Let's pull KD and Kyrie.
I know.
They
That's
did.
what I'm saying. Is that like KD didn't just like the Golden State didn't just like get worse. KD just went to a different team. That's all they did. There isn't
Yeah,
more
they got
talent.
way-
They just changed the talent.
No,
There's
they're
not like,
still bad.
they're not spreading out
They're
the
what they used
wealth.
to be.
They're not spreading out the wealth across the NBA. They just switched the wealth. That's all they did.
Are you done being wrong yet?
See, I told you he
Keep
completely
waiting.
disagrees with. He thinks the NBA is 10
The
times
NBA
better.
has not
Oh
had
my
this many
God.
contenders in
That's not
8 years.
true. It's
So
not
is true.
true.
There have not been this many contenders
Oh
in
my
10 years.
God.
That's
This is gonna
100%
be.
correct.
This is gonna be.
There are so many teams that could win the championship.
That's
Clippers,
not
Lakers,
true.
Warriors.
There's 2 teams on both sides that are gonna. That's
No,
it.
no.
Wrong.
Only the
Sixers,
Lakers
Celtics,
and the
Bucks.
Clippers have a chance, or the Sixers and the Bucks. That's it. The Nets
Celtics.
have no chance, and they have 2 of the greatest players in all
Well,
time.
the Nets don't have KD this year, so obviously
Well,
they're
I
not a
know,
chance.
but I'm saying they paid all that money just for him to get injured. But the Nets have no chance either
He was
way.
injured before they got him.
I know. What I'm stating is that they paid all that money and he's injured. Okay.
Yeah,
they
because
didn't
they know how
spread.
good he is.
The NBA didn't spread out the wealth. They didn't.
I think
They
so
didn't
did.
say, okay, we're gonna just throw a bunch of superstars to all these random teams. No, they just
Exactly what
changed
they
the
did.
teams they were on.
No, they didn't.
The other teams got worse, and then they got
Nuggets
other.
could win it.
Yeah, the Nuggets
Oh
are
my
a
God.
team that built from the draft, and they could be really good.
So okay.
I mean, they basically.
I
did what
just
the
I just
Warriors
want to
did their
mark
first
this
year.
down on video audio recording and put it here so everybody knows. This is still the preseason, correct? The season has not started as of October
it doesn't
10th.
start- it
Okay.
doesn't
No.
start.
As of
Starts in,
October
like,
10th, I
little
do
less than 2
declare,
weeks.
Ryan declares, this NBA season will be one of the most boring in NBA history.
No, it was boring.
And none of the teams, maybe one of the teams with one of these superstar lineups, one of these incredibly stacked teams, maybe the Lakers, maybe the Clippers, I don't know who, maybe one of them actually goes to the finals. Maybe one.
I mean, Only
None of
Only
the rest
two
of them.
teams can go to the finals.
I'm
one of
saying
those
only
teams
one of
made
these
it to the
teams.
Someone has to go.
Oh, I'm saying what I'm trying to say is only one of those stacked all-star lineups will actually make it.
So
One
you're
of
saying
these-
okay?
That's
So okay,
correct
okay.
because only one can.
No, I'm
no,
saying
no,
it's
no.
gonna be an upset year because these
so-
teams aren't going to win because there's nothing. I don't know.
I
What,
think
I
I
don't
get.
know.
So
I think
many
I get what I was
contenders
saying.
this
Hold on.
year.
No,
I think
there's
he's saying,
not.
like- so he's saying like whoever it is. So let's say the Clippers make the Western. I think he's saying like a team like the Pacers, a team that doesn't have anybody, is gonna make it.
Yes.
No, you're
Because
wrong.
Why would that
every
happen?
single
Why
time,
would that happen?
every single time this happens, whether it be in the NFL, the MLB, or the NBA, one of these teams gets all these stars stacked on 2 or 3 different
The
teams.
Rockets could win.
the
Shut
Rockets aren't
up and let
doing
me
anything.
talk. When every single sports league, where all these stars go to one team, you got LeBron and Anthony Davis, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, they're together.
Okay, you got Kawhi and who?
Paul George.
and
the sixth man. I forget what his name
And
is.
whoever. You got all
Sweet
these.
Williams.
You got the
Williams.
Okay, so let me make it even simpler. You got the Clippers, the Lakers, and the Warriors. That's about all you have in the Western Conference.
No.
No,
Yeah, I
the
would
Nuggets
definitely
are
say
amazing.
The Nuggets are really good.
Okay, fine.
The
Add the Nuggets.
Rockets are going to be good. The
All
Blazers
4
are
of
good.
those teams.
The
Warriors.
Trailblazers are
Okay,
gonna be actually
take
like,
add
low-key
all
sleep.
these teams you're adding up. None of these teams are going to be postseason relevant.
Yes, they will.
No, and
The,
no,
the Blazers.
if you take all the star names, if you take all the star names that are on all these different NBA teams this year, if you take all these names and you put the biggest ones, the biggest free agent acquisitions, like the Clippers, the Lakers, the Nuggets, all those teams, I guarantee none of those teams make the finals.
the Nuggets actually didn't pick up anybody relevant. They just have their team.
Okay, whoever picked up relevant people is what I'm trying to say. If you take all those people who pick up relevant people and all these big, what do you call it? All these big free agent acquisitions that the NFL or NBA did all season long, all off season that everyone's screeching about. I guarantee not one of those teams that did a major acquisition makes the finals. In fact, I think probably what's going to happen is the team that like the 7th, maybe 8th, maybe even 6th seed in the Western Conference, they make the finals.
I highly doubt that one. With
Some team that
I
everyone
salute
declares
every fiber of
barely
my
made
body.
it, barely relevant, that team makes the finals. And
So
then on
who
the
is that
East,
team?
I don't know who it's going to be. I can't
who's making the
predict.
finals?
I can't predict. I barely know the rosters. I just know these super
Barely
teams
knows
never.
the rosters.
Look, I know where the big names are. That's
Wild
all I know.
accusations.
I'm not making a
we
wild
even-
act. I'm making
we
a
even
statement.
Made picks. We even made picks. I can tell you who's going to be in the playoffs from the Western Conference. The Warriors will be there. The Clippers will be there. The Lakers will be there. Not the Sun. Blazers. I bet
Rockets.
Yeah, you're right about that one. The Grizz. No, not the Grizz. I'm sorry. The
Jazz.
Jazz. Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say. Did I say the Nuggets yet? I think.
Wait,
Yeah.
I don't think Cole remembers who I picked, but do you remember when I made my preseason predictions about which team would be in the top?
All I know it was wrong.
That's all
I
I
remember.
he
I
got
I think he picked.
extremely
I think
mad.
He picked the. Did you pick the Rockets?
I think I might have picked the Rockets. Look, I just think
Well, they were one of the biggest free agent acquisitions.
I think I might have picked the right. But here's what I will say is I
Wait,
might be
that was a trade?
relenting on that, and I
Whatever.
will say that I think a team that nobody expects to make the finals this year will. I don't
Look,
know
I'm
who it's
telling
gonna
you
be.
right now, the only teams that are making the playoffs from the Western Conference that don't have big acquisition is either going to be the Kings or probably the Spurs.
You know what I hate about this year's NBA
neither
the
of them are doing
most,
it.
besides the fact that there's so many super teams this year, is that all these super teams are all people who came from different teams just to go to those big markets. Why do you think the Lakers got so stacked? Why did the Clippers get so stacked? Why did the Rockets get so stacked? What does all these teams have in common? They're part of big markets, media
Well,
markets.
AD just wanted to play LeBron.
He would have
Kawhi-
gone probably
Kawhi left
anywhere, but
because Kawhi was leaving the Raptors no matter what.
I know.
Like he basically stated that.
why did LeBron go to LA? Because he wanted to be part of the LA media market.
Oh, LeBron, like he was going there regardless.
I know, but he was going to get paid a lot, and he wanted to be part of that market. And then why do people play in Houston? Because Houston has a large market. very large media market, and they have a huge fan base. They want to go to teams with massive fan bases. The only exception to this rule is probably Denver, who doesn't have a big media market, might have a big fan base. I'm not quite sure how big it is, but that's the only exception that I can see. And they're a very talented team, but they don't have
nobody actually went
superstars.
to Denver for free agent.
Exactly. They probably
I
didn't
mean, they might have
acquire
signed
anyone.
like a couple role players.
And
but
it's the same
beyond
thing
that-
in the
That's not
NBA as
what
well.
we're
Brooklyn is a massive media market, downtown New York. Okay? These markets these players go to these massive markets. They don't go to small teams. They don't go to small markets. They don't do it.
Well, according to that, then you should have somebody in the Knicks organization, but nobody actually went.
Nobody wants to go to the Knicks because the Knicks are terrible.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It's true.
Their franchise is
James Dolan's an
horrendous.
idiot.
It's like the Redskins of the NBA.
That's an accurate.
Well, that's the
That's
Wizards.
inaccurate. No, it's true. It is. They're the Redskins of the NBA. It's just
That's
they're a
basically the
dysfunctional
Wizards.
organization nobody wants to play for, even if they're in the middle of New York. I don't care. They're a terrible franchise.
They are.
The only
Yeah,
exception
really
maybe is the Miami Heat, but I heard they got better, so I don't know.
They got slightly.
They added
better
Jimmy
because-
Butler.
Yeah.
So I
But
mean
they're still
that's
not gonna
something.
do
It's
anything.
not huge, but that's something. I mean they're probably not going to do anything. But the same thing on the East Coast as well. Just smaller, just a few less big cities probably.
Well,
But that's what I hate, the oversaturation of stars on single teams. I hate it. That's why I hated the Warriors.
You'd rather have.
I want the
one-
talent
He wants
spread out.
every team to have less than 50 wins.
No, I want every team to have at least one star, and that doesn't happen right now.
Oh, that's actually.
It doesn't happen when three
Every team
teams
pretty
have
much
5
does have one
stars.
star.
All right, I
No.
think I'm gonna break
Except
this
for,
up
like,
for
the
a second.
Kings.
All right,
I
sorry.
can't
Go
think of a
ahead.
star.
I'm gonna break this for a second. I get what you're trying to say. I understand you want every single team to have a chance, so it's not just the same thing.
Yes,
over
it
and over and over.
irritates me. Like the NFL probably is the most
It's just
evenly
idiotic, though.
split
It's
thing.
never gonna happen.
But actually, if you're looking for that kind of sport, go to hockey because their salary cap is so
yes,
low.
true. Their salary cap is so
Because-
low that they have to. They can't pay more than one star.
Yeah, basically. Well, I mean, they draft.
I mean, the
stars, they don't
MLB is
buy
becoming this way too. Look at the Dodgers.
The
They're
MLB,
stacking.
the MLB doesn't have a cap, so
I
it
know.
makes it
That's the worst. I mean, the MLB is probably
I'm saying-
another prime example, and the
this
NBA
year,
is
this
following
year in
that path.
specific is going to have the most
Look,
contenders.
out of all the star teams, sure, there's a lot of star teams that could win, but that's the problem. There's so many teams that okay. No, let me rephrase it. There's too few star teams.
There's like 3 bad teams in the NBA this
There
year.
really is more
Well,
than
I mean,
a
the
lot more
Hornets are
than
bad,
that.
the Hawks are bad, the Magic aren't great.
The Wizards are terrible.
Well, the Wizards are just that.
Terrible.
We're not gonna talk about that. The Knicks are bad, but that's all in the East. If you go to the West, honestly, like the only really bad.
The West has
team
better
right
teams.
now-
Besides the
East.
Kings.
The Kings aren't that bad though. They've got young stars that are growing.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Grizzlies have Conley, but they refuse to put anyone around Conley. Wait, do they still have
No, Conley went to the Jazz.
Oh, right. So the
No,
Grizzlies
the
have no one.
Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have no. They're in a rebuild, so they're gonna suck. Like, sorry. Like
Okay.
the Thunder aren't good. They're gonna be in a rebuild. The Timberwolves need to figure out what they're doing. I mean, but everybody else in the West. I mean, the Mavericks also kind of need to figure out what they're doing. Because
Well, they just got
they got
they have Doncic
Porzingis.
and they just got Porzingis. So
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. They
they're
need
just trying
more.
to win now.
I think
They need more.
the Mavericks are going to be bad. I think the Pelicans are going to be very bad, even though everyone seems to think they're not.
Dude,
I think the
okay,
Grizzlies are
actually,
going to be terrible.
for our last topic here, not a lot like later on, but we'll do our review in a second and our
Right.
picks. But we're coming back to the Pelicans conversation.
Okay. Sure thing. I
have
look.
so much to
I'll
vent
put a
about
I'll put a massive bow on this because apparently I am literally the only person in the entire world that thinks this. So I'll stick with my gut on this one because I believe this since the first super team, which was probably the Heat. Okay.
No, it was wrong. It's actually the Celtics. The Celtics with Paul Pierce, KG,
Yeah.
Ray
Okay,
Allen.
fine. Paul
That was
Pierce,
the first
KG,
time that they
Ray Allen.
like
The
signed
first,
2 huge free agents.
Fine. The
Yeah.
first super team since an
Oh my good lord.
But
What?
they only had one super team, so that means every other team still had a chance to beat them. When there's so many people like this, not people like this, when there's so many, like there's when there's multiple teams with multiple stars on each team, not only do the smaller teams who have absolutely no chance of getting a star with no cap space, not only do they have no chance of winning, they have no chance of making the playoffs at all. So you got
I kind of agree with that.
maybe 5 to 6 teams every year who are guaranteed shoo-ins for the playoffs. And that's boring. How is that fun to watch a regular season when you have 5 to 6 teams on each side who dominate everyone else?
Going to win.
Exactly. It's boring. It's like, what? Do you want to know why the MLB became boring? Besides the fact that they have a massively long season, because the teams were stacked. Everyone knows who the Yankees and the Red Sox are going to be good, competitive teams every year.
Red Sox were terrible this year.
Didn't they win the World Series last year? I can't remember. Did they win the World Series last year?
No, the Astros won it last year.
2 years ago, the Red Sox won a World Series.
Didn't the Astros win it last year?
No, the Red Sox won.
The Red Sox won the World Series last year.
But then I think the Astros won the year before.
Every year, you can guarantee at least 2 to 3 teams on each conference in the NBA are going to be in the probably in the finals, and it's so annoying to me.
For the last 5 years, yeah, but not this year.
No.
See, I will say this much about the initial Warriors. Like
this regular season is going to be so boring.
You're
I'm gonna say this much about
There's so many different things to watch.
It's not. It's just not.
The Warriors
things to watch.
I can't wait till I watch
the first win. Was built from the ground up.
Yes, the Warriors.
After that though, okay. After that, no, there's just nothing I can't defend them after their first title win.
No, I mean I can't either. That's what I'm saying. Is that's when I became annoyed with them when they just took to free agency to stay relevant.
Let me get Boogie. Let me get KD. All right, we're good.
Like this is what I hate about what the NBA. It's so oversaturated with talent right now,
and they fixed it. Like, they did a little bit.
Oh no, they didn't. They made it worse.
All right, okay.
How did they make it worse? There were 2 teams in the past 5 years.
And every other team,
other
team at least had a fighting chance to get to
No, they didn't. No one else was even close to the finals. The Warriors and Cavs, or whoever LeBron was on, were blowing them out in the playoffs. They were bulldozing the playoffs.
The Raptors and the Celtics.
Raptors won because LeBron didn't care anymore.
The Raptors and the Celtics, and even a couple times
the Raptors only won when LeBron.
All those and the Nets.
Whatever.
Times.
Oh yeah, he wasn't even in the fucking East anymore.
The Raptors and a couple other teams, and the Bucks and the Celtics all had their multiple chances to beat LeBron in the ECF multiple times. Just because they couldn't do it doesn't mean they weren't relevant. Each time there was a different team that was relevant in the Eastern Conference. It wasn't just 4 teams that have superstars. Guess we're gonna forget the rest of the league.
You could predict who would come in second in the East, but
year
everyone knew
different.
that LeBron was going to win the East.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying. Every year it was different. Who would be the next person? Who would be the next
No one
team?
cares who's going to come in second.
No,
Who
but
the hell cares?
they want to see.
You're
I don't want to
done.
see
It's
the
over.
same 4 teams in the playoffs every year. I hate it.
Who cares who's coming in second?
Same 4 teams in the top.
You're
of the
not
playoffs
going
every
to
year.
see the same 4 teams.
You are. That's the problem.
The Lakers weren't even in the playoffs last year. They're going to be in the playoffs this year. The Clippers were like in the 8th seed last year. They're going to be way higher.
The Warriors are not making the finals this year.
Now it is cemented. Now that you're going to say the top same 5 teams in each conference every single year from now on. That's the worst part of the NBA. It's not going to change. There's not a single team that's going to have any chance of beating anyone. But any of these top 5 great teams. That's it. On each side. And it's going to be boring for every other team in the league.
You're an idiot.
All right, I'm cutting you guys off.
Okay. That's all. I just want to wrap it up.
I'm cutting you guys. I understand each side, but we're going to move on because time.
Yeah, true.
All right, so right now, actually, also with the MLB update, it's still 4-1, bottom of the 5th, with 2 out.
Oh. All right.
All right, so we're gonna go into last week's picks.
Patriots are tied 0-0.
Yeah, that is true.
Giant fan happy.
Really?
Well, a lot of offensive coordinators
and see how well we did.
Sorry, what? Sorry, what? You were gonna review the games last week?
Yeah, last week's picks and see how well we did.
All right.
So week 5, did you or did you not pick the Panthers?
Week 5, who the Panthers
You gotta be more
played.
specific.
It was
Who
Panthers
they
or
playing?
Jags.
I picked the Jags.
I picked
I
the
think I picked the Panthers.
Panther. No, I picked the
I-
Jaguars actually.
I just wrote it down. So
Yeah, I picked the Jaguars to upset the Panthers because I thought they
Okay,
would.
and then the Patriots Redskins.
Yeah, that was
Patriots.
Patriots all the way.
I'm pretty sure I took the Reds. Oh yeah, I think we
Yes.
talked about this earlier. I
Oh,
took the
yes.
Redskins because the Patriots were supposed to lose. Like they lose one bad game every year. I was right for a little bit, but then I was super wrong.
I mean,
So,
about half
we're
of
just
the
gonna leave
first
it at that.
quarter, you were right. I'll give you that.
I was right until almost halftime, but it was close.
True.
All right, Bills Titans.
I had.
I'm pretty
this
sure
was
I
a
had the
coin
Bills
flip.
because the
I think
Bills
I went
defense
with the
lit.
Titans though.
Bills, Titans. I don't even
We need to start
see
writing
who
this
I
down.
picked.
You coin flipped.
I think you
told Siri
did.
to flip a coin.
I didn't pick. I don't see either. Bills, Titans.
Did you
Yeah.
take Ravens or Steelers? Because I know I
I
didn't pick
had
the
the
Steelers.
Ravens over that. Because I
I
think
didn't
they
write that one either, but I probably took the Ravens.
They were
Yeah,
I'm
very,
I'm
very
pretty sure
close.
everybody was like Ravens and the Steelers are awful.
Mhm.
Well,
It was a
that
close
and
game.
Everybody's hurt.
Yeah.
All right, this was actually like the Tank Bowl. I mean, I love it because I watched it in person. I say the name, but
yeah.
they call it the Tank Bowl. Love it. It's so funny and it's so true. The Cardinals played the Bengals. The Cardinals won. I know I picked the Bengals. So
I think I had the Cardinals here because their defense was supposed to be better, but the Bengals, that is one of the most embarrassing losses their franchise has ever had.
But they needed to because they need another quarterback.
Oh no, I know. I'm not saying it's a bad thing that they lost. I'm saying that's got to be one of the worst losses you'll ever have.
All right, and then it's the Texans Falcons. Texans won. I know I picked the Texans because I said the Falcons suck.
I said the
I
Falcons
picked-
had to win this game, but I think I picked the Texans.
I picked the Falcons. I figured they'd have to win at some point.
I mean,
Yeah, that wasn't the day.
it's really bad when your offense is incredibly good at everything except running. Like, you have one of the best high-flying offenses, and your defense is supposed to be incredibly good and much improved, and they get lambasted by Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I'm just saying Deshaun Watson had a 75-point fantasy week for Dan.
He threw 5 touchdowns and almost threw 2 more actually. So
Well, yeah, so I'm just saying I almost lost
Wow.
last week. But did because I got lucky.
pretty sure the Texans have scored 50 points back to back, but I might be wrong.
I will check that before.
That's kind of insane. Deshaun Watson's pretty.
No,
good.
he's only scored 10 last,
Oh, okay, never mind.
or the week before, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So then it was the Saints Bucks. I know I picked.
I definitely
picked
had the
Saints.
Buccaneers winning this. I thought they were gonna upset the Saints because they upset
You
the
were
Rams.
close.
I was really close, but Jameis sucks. So
The Vikings Giants. I actually don't know who I picked for this.
I picked the
Picked
Vikings.
the Vikings.
I said if the Vikings lose, that's the end of their season. And they did.
I don't
not.
remember. I
Kirk
think I
Cousins
picked
had a
Vikings, but I'm
game,
not gonna
man.
quote that.
Who won?
TDs.
I don't even remember.
Vikings won
Which one?
28-10.
Oh yeah, the Vikings won 28.
Kirk Cousins threw 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, but he also played a very bad.
Oh, he played a
team.
terrible defense. So I mean, if the Patriots end up losing this game, that is horrible.
I mean,
I mean,
both
that's
quarterbacks
what
are
they
playing
did.
terrible right now.
Yeah, and I'm pretty
Daniel
sure
and
both
Tom
of them
threw
picked.
back-to-back interceptions.
Great way to start, you guys. Good job.
Killing.
All right, so then it was Bears Raiders. The Bears lost by 3,
I had
24
the-
to 21. I had the Bears.
I think I
Bears.
had the Bears. Yes, that's an upset that we didn't pick.
I mean, is it really? Because the Bears' offense sucks.
Yeah, it looks really bad without. I mean, we thought it looked bad with Mitch. It looked worse.
It looks pretty bad now.
without Mitch. So
All right, this was a pretty simple one. The Eagles Jets. Pick the Jets.
I picked the Eagles.
I picked the Eagles.
I probably picked the Eagles.
That was
I can imagine picking the Jets to do anything.
that was just really bad. The Jets are. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just how bad their defense is, but they look horrible.
Yeah, no, they're
They
bad.
don't have
They're
their
not
quarterback,
good.
but they still look really bad even with him.
Yes, I agree. Okay, so Broncos Chargers. The Broncos won 20-13.
I had the
I had Chargers.
Wait,
I
no,
had
this is my upset. I picked the Broncos over the Chargers. That's right. I
had the
remember
Chargers.
that. I said check
Here's-
down Flacco's gonna win it.
You
Unfortunately.
did. I think I remember you actually.
And Cole
And I
doubted
said
me.
check down Flacco sucks. He still does, but
He
I
still
mean,
sucks, but the Chargers look
When-
horrendous on
when-
defense.
Yeah, when you only got to score 20 to win, I mean, you're doing something pretty good.
I mean, Phillip Rivers is massively struggling, and Chargers defense is horrible.
Dude, I honestly think Phillip Rivers is one of the underrated.
He's underrated as hell, but when his defense is bad, he looks terrible.
Well, I mean, any team that their defense is awful is going to suck.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
I'm sorry.
I feel bad for the talent on the Chargers because they have talent on offense, and it's just being wasted.
I know I got this next one wrong because it was the Packers-Cowboys, 34-24. But that wasn't even honestly a close game.
Yeah,
So
I picked,
happy about that game.
you should have seen him, Austin.
I bet he was like, I remember coming over. I remember like days I was over at your house in high school and Cole sitting there like cheering. Oh no, we were watching the Heat Spurs when Ray Allen hit that corner 3 and Cole was like, he wasn't crying, but he was like, what just happened?
Oh yes.
Okay. There's a lot of reasons I didn't like that game.
Stay on topic.
No, it was just really funny, but I remember how nuts he goes. So I can only imagine
That was the moment that bitch ass LeBron lost his chance to be the GOAT. I mean, that was the second time he lost his chance.
True.
Oh my god.
True.
Right,
But
He had to get bailed out by Ray Allen because he's too much of a bitch to hit a 3.
Unfortunately, I picked the Cowboys because they were at home, but apparently
I picked them at home too, and I didn't. Well, here's what I'm gonna
Aaron
say.
Rodgers apparently owns the Cowboys at home, and I was unaware
Anyone named
of this.
Aaron is the owner of the Cowboys.
And Aaron
Stadium. That's the
Jones
way it
just
works.
decided to have a career game all of a sudden, so that was interesting.
I'm gonna say this: Dak chose to have a really good game.
He chose the worst time to have a terrible first half.
No, I mean Dak just. This is my proof. I had arguments with so many people that Dak is not as good as people.
If he has
proof.
no run game, he's not good.
Yeah, I know.
If he can't, he has to be set up to be good.
The thing is, they're also like they're splitting carries. So I had a total problem with the Cowboys. I'm gonna vent on this real quick. The Cowboys team is built around who? One person. And you know who it is. Just say the name for me, please.
It's built around Zeke.
Thank you. Why are they splitting carries with Tony Pollard?
I don't know. I know he was supposed to be Zeke's quote unquote filler in replacement when Zeke wasn't there on his holdout, but he's not holding out at all.
Hold up. I'm going. Where's my phone?
And here's the thing: the Packers' run defense is really bad.
Yo, I don't know
how they stopped Zeke. I have no clue how the Packers all of a sudden.
Because it was at Cowboy Stadium.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. The Packers went from giving up 200 yards running to not even. I think Dak had more rushing yards than Zeke did. I don't even know if Zeke hit 100.
He didn't. He only had 62.
Exactly. I don't know what the hell the Cowboys were doing. They started out passing for some reason, and the Packers' pass defense is legit. They have a good pass defense. They got good corners.
Mm-hmm.
They got good corners and good safeties all of a sudden. But their run defense is terrible, and they have their linebackers, if they have time to get to the quarterback, can get to him. And so I don't understand why Dallas' game plan was to throw against a team with a good pass defense and a bad run defense. The Eagles showed how bad the Packers' run defense can be 2 weeks ago. Why not do what the Eagles did? It was stunning.
I'm mind blown that Zeke only got. So listen to how many yards he has. All right, so his game against New Orleans, he had 18 attempts. He had 18 carries, but only for 35 yards. Like the Saints bottled him up.
Yeah.
He had 12 carries for 62 yards against Green Bay.
What was so weird is how many times they chose to throw it, even after.
Why is he only getting 12 carries? How many carries did Tony Pollard get?
I don't actually know if he got more. If Tony Pollard was getting. I wasn't paying too much attention to who the running back core was. I was more focused on the fact that all of a sudden Dak was being forced to throw all these downs in which he threw a lot of pass yards this game, right? Like, he had set a career high, I think, for himself, right? And to be fair, in the second half, he looked a lot better. But he was being forced to throw on almost every down because they were so far behind. Like, they were down, I think, 31-3 or something crazy at some point. They were so far behind, they turned it into a pass game. So, I don't understand why he was making these decisions to throw to these horribly out of place like players constantly. And the Packers had 4 picks. One of them was overturned by a penalty, and then the other one I can't remember what happened to it. But like he was forcing balls into players who were not open ever. And he was constantly there was one pick that they threw where this Packer corner made this incredible leaping catch.
3 picks that they made.
But Dak was throwing it into triple coverage. I was stunned.
But why is he allowed to throw the ball like that right now?
Well, I think the reason is because of how quickly the Packers got up. It was 14-0 in the first quarter.
That doesn't mean okay.
That you shouldn't go away from the run game. No, you shouldn't.
So many things
but they
change
did. That's the thing. They decided to go away from it. And when they went away from it, they forced Dak to throw every down.
It's like, yeah, but Dak, okay, so Dak did not have a good quarterback or QBR. Only one person had a worse week than him.
Mm-hmm.
And can you guess who that was?
I'd say anyone on the Redskins, but that's just
No,
me.
it was Baker Mayfield.
Well, that makes actually so much sense.
I think he had like a 1 QBR. Literally a 1.
He
1.4 actually.
They scored 3 points, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
I think statistically it was the worst game the Browns have had in like the past 10 years.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a couple minutes. I'm still going to sit here and rip Dak. Okay, well, not even Dak. It's not Dak's fault.
No, it's his game plan.
Yeah.
3 picks.
What is Jason Garrett doing?
Well, that's the thing, though. He gave up offensive play calling duties to this new guy, Kellen Moore. I think he was the former Dallas quarterback or a former quarterback for someone. And their
like
offensive, it was whatever. He was a former quarterback in the NFL. Now he's an offense coordinator who's now calling their entire offense. He looked great against terrible teams.
Yeah.
Now
like,
the last
God,
2 weeks,
had over
he's
100
played
and some yards against Miami and
the Redskins and
Good
whoever
job.
the hell. And yeah, exactly. Terrible teams.
I could take a playbook from Madden and do as well as he did.
Exactly my point. And people were saying, "Oh, is he the next head coaching candidate?" I'm like, this guy's played terrible. 2 teams who haven't won a game, and one team who's won 2.
They've won 3 games, 2 of them in their division against teams that are easily worse than.
Oh, by far, and that's
playing the worst team in the league in Miami.
Exactly, and that's my point. It's like you go from like you're calling plays against these teams, then you go play the Saints, right? Who are a very good football team, even with Teddy Bridgewater.
Missing
and
Drew
you
Brees.
barely ran the ball on that. You couldn't run the ball on the Saints, and so you had to start passing, and you still lost that game. Then you go to play the Packers at home. By the way, I can forgive the Saints game. You're in New Orleans, a hard game against a good defense. Then you go at home. You go down 21-0. In the second quarter. Where's the offensive game against a team who just got lit up on run defense? They gave up 200-plus rush yards the previous game. I don't understand.
167.
Or 100, sorry, nearly 200. Okay,
Yeah, but
they
that's
just
still-
got
that's still a big
destroyed
game on
on
the ground.
exactly. That's a pretty big game for most teams on the ground. That's a huge game. That run defense just got destroyed. They gave up like 3 rushing touchdowns the previous game. And then you go from that to having one of the best O-lines and one of the best running backs in the NFL, and you choose to only use him 12 times the whole game.
Yeah, and then you gave Pollard, and then they gave Pollard like 4 more carries or something.
I understand
for
you were
20 yards.
And I don't know what happened to Dallas's defense. Maybe they were just overhyped to begin with. But that was a horrible performance.
You know, I don't know if you can say Dallas' defense.
No, I think you gotta. I don't think it was the main problem of that game. I do think it was the.
Think about it. Like when your defense goes out on the field, okay, they give up a touchdown. Maybe you get a little confidence back if your team scores or just puts up some points, right?
Right.
So then, like, oh man, our quarterback just threw another pick. We got to go back out. We've been off the field for like 2 minutes. Can we get a break, please? Oh, he threw another one. Oh my God.
No, I know. I mean, at that point, it was definitely on the offense by far.
I'm not saying I'm definitely not saying that
I just
their
think
defense played well.
The
I'm just
Cowboys'
saying,
defense played very sublime compared to what they could have played and have
From
played
what they're
in previous
capable,
games. Yeah, exactly. And
I don't think you know what sublime means.
I do know what sublime means. Sublime
means good.
Does it?
Subpar means bad.
Okay, fine.
that's
Subpar.
true. It is
Subpar compared to what they have played in previous games. And especially, I mean, they only let the Saints, one of the best teams in the league, score 12 points on them. That's pretty good. And then, I mean, I get Aaron Rodgers is an incredible quarterback, but it's not like he did anything spectacular. He just,
I mean, he's a top
gave the
3
ball to
QB
Aaron
in the
Jones.
league.
he let his running back, who was having a great game, carry the team. And that's what a good quarterback does. You let the player who's carrying the game carry the team to a win. And, I mean, I was stunned to see how bad the Cowboys did in the first half. Now, the second half was different. The second half, they came back and they made it look really easy.
But it doesn't mean Dak did anything special.
No, it's because the Packers' second half is an entirely different team than the first half every single game. And I don't know why that is, but that seems to be every single game they play this year. Now,
Don't worry about it.
don't worry.
Score update. The Patriots scored. I mean, shocker, but they're up 7.
Stunner. Anyway, so, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's all I'm seeing is the, Oh, apparently they actually got a special team score, so that's how the Patriots scored. Anyway, typical Giants.
I mean, either way, Dallas still sucks, and they need to figure out what.
Yeah, so I don't know where the Giants or Cowboys are going to go after this. They have a relatively easy game this week, though, so I won't.
We're gonna skip this next part about talking how good the Green Bay team is because otherwise Cole will be here all.
I think Green Bay is a little. They have serious halftime management issues.
I'm just kidding because I'll let Cole talk on.
I mean, you can praise his team. Go ahead.
Yeah, praise your team a little bit. Go ahead.
I mean, everyone named Aaron.
You cut out, Cole.
Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys. What?
You cut out after you said everyone named Aaron.
Everyone named Aaron is a legal owner of the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Well, okay, why would you say that?
Because
Have you
every
seen
time
the
a player
stats?
named Aaron for the Packers plays in Cowboys Stadium, they just destroy it.
Yeah, to be fair, Aaron Rodgers is now 7-2 at the Cowboys Stadium.
That's pretty bad. They got to figure out what's going on.
He has literally had some of his best career games in Dallas Stadium. That is
Dude, and that's not
actually
even.
insane.
See, the thing is, actually, that might be the worst game of the week. Like, not in the sense of like both teams like are awful. Like, worst game of the week was definitely the Bengals Cardinals
that
game
was
because
hard to watch.
they're fighting for losing. They're just trying to lose at this point.
Well, we're about to have the worst game of the entire season
oh my god!
this
Yeah.
week.
I want to say the most shocking game of the week right here is the Colts versus Chiefs.
That was Can I say for the record, I didn't pick the Colts, but I so called that they could win this game. I
mean,
said it with
you can
the
say that about any game though.
No,
You need to
I said the Colts are going to put up a massive fight against the Chiefs and they might win. Now I picked
is
the
Jacoby
Chiefs.
Brissett, right?
Yes,
Say that right.
Yeah.
Brissett.
He's not bad. Looking pretty good.
I mean, he didn't
I
have
think he
any
could be a starter.
great. He didn't. He's definitely probably a starter on most teams, and obviously he's a starter right now because they don't have Andrew Luck. But
Who's not coming back?
who's not coming back, obviously. So he's clearly going to be the starter. I don't know if the Colts will keep him as their starter. They might try to trade him to a team who has
Maybe,
no
we'll
quarterback
see.
and try to get something better. But I mean, clearly he's competent enough and has the skills to be a starting quarterback by far. I mean, he threw a pick. He didn't throw any touchdowns. He only threw for 151 yards. It was at Kansas City. It was a really hard game, and he did everything he needed to do to win, to keep his team in the game, to allow them to win. So I mean, all he did was Marlon Mack had 132 yards rushing against the Chiefs. He carried the ball 29 times. That's the exact same amount of attempts they threw the ball. I gotta give credit to the coach. That's a great game plan he had, and that defense is legit.
Yeah, they played really well.
And
There's not really much else to say besides you shut down Patrick Mahomes, you can shut down the Chiefs.
that's the thing. We say shut down. He still threw a touchdown, 300+ yards, but
Yeah, but if you can keep him
from getting 4 touchdowns and 400 yards, you can beat him.
Yeah, I mean, sounds good to me. I'd give up 300 yards for a win every game.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. That I just think that the Chiefs have a way of losing, and the Colts are if they had a really good quarterback like they had in Andrew Luck, they could be legit NFC or AFC contenders this year.
I mean, they might even be contenders right now.
They might be,
make the
but
playoffs.
they have to play a team with a good defense to do that
I
because
wanna
the Chiefs'
real
defense
quick-
is not good.
I want to real quick see their record.
I think they're
Or not their record, their schedule.
Oh, okay. I was just saying the Colts have to play like a good defense and beat them because the Chiefs' defense is not good, and
They have Houston, Denver, and Pittsburgh.
Houston, Denver, and Pittsburgh. So they're going to play some. Denver's got a good defense. Pittsburgh doesn't. Houston's got an okay defense,
Houston's
but they
got
gave
a
up.
good
I don't know. They have a decent defense, I guess. They're nothing
All right.
special.
Reviewing the last game of this week, while this Jet house again.
Browns,
the
49ers.
Browns and Niners. The Niners are looking pretty legit. I'm pretty sure they're sitting 5-0 here, boys.
There's
Or
only
4-0.
one thing to say about this game, okay? One thing. The 49ers are a legitimate playoff team. That's it.
I didn't think they would be this good, but
Nope.
they are. Their defense is looking great.
The defense looks great. Jimmy Garoppolo is doing enough. And can I just say that the rushing duo of Matt Breida and Tevin Coleman looks fucking great? Like,
You can
who
say,
picked
sure.
that? Didn't see that one coming.
Yep.
And it's funny because Cole dropped Matt Breida in fantasy the last week,
Did you really?
right after he pops off for his best game of the year.
You know what? I won, so I don't care.
It's true. I can't really talk
I'm
smack.
probably going to lose to Cole. I won't lie. My team's not looking.
I mean, I just lost Devontae Adams for another game.
Feels bad.
Feels bad. It's okay.
But I gotta say, I'll say one thing about the Browns.
They
Mayfield has the talent, but my God, that coaching staff is screwing that up.
suck.
Wow.
I don't feel like they know what they're doing.
I don't know if it's Freddie Kitchen's fault. I don't know if it's a play caller's fault. I don't know who the hell's fault it is. But for the talent that you have to lose this bad, like twice or 3 times this year already, and I don't know. I don't even know. This is such a waste of talent. It's disgusting. But whatever.
It's a. What do you think, Cole?
About what?
Just the Browns.
Ugh. I don't know what happened to Baker. I'm
he
confused
goes
about that.
I don't know either.
Because he breaks the record for rookie touchdowns in the season last year, and then
Has he
nothing.
thrown 5 yet? I don't even know if he's
idea.
thrown 5.
Probably.
I think he has more picks.
They
than
gotta
this.
work. They gotta work on their O line. The
Oh,
huge
yeah,
problem.
It's bad. It's real bad.
This
He
season
doesn't know
right now,
protection.
he's 4 touchdowns to 8 interceptions.
Yeah, so he's double his TD. His interceptions is double his touchdowns. I mean, that says everything you need to know about his team right now.
He's
If I was the
31st
Browns,
QB.
I would be trying to trade Odell for Trent Williams.
Yeah, but the Redskins have
Or
said
Jarvis
that.
Landry,
Here's the thing,
just
though.
either one.
The Redskins have honestly said they're not going to trade Trent Williams. As sad as that is, they're not going to do it, and it's just it's just not happening. So I mean,
It just
I
sounds
understand
like the
they
Redskins.
probably tried. The Browns have probably tried trading for a really good tackle, but it's just not happening.
All right,
Unfortunately,
we're gonna get in the picks for next week, so we can get to this. I want to get to this last topic,
okay.
just because it irks me.
All right, we'll make sure to
Basket.
write these ones down this time.
Who's gonna be the keeper? Of
I
these?
will keep the stats.
Just open a doc.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
no, right.
All good.
All right, Panthers Bucks,
Go ahead, Cole.
9:30 a.m. What?
Ugh, I'm not watching it. Fuck that.
It's in London.
Gross.
I'm going to take the Panthers because Christian McCaffrey is a.
Yeah, the
killing-
Bucks defense isn't good enough to stop McCaffrey.
Last week I picked the Bucks to upset the Saints, and almost did it. I gotta say I can't see the Bucks upsetting a run defense or a run team that's just that good. So I got Panthers barely. It's a close
Okay, so
game.
everybody has Panthers.
Yep.
All right, here's a fun one: the Skins and the Dolphins. I feel like we should pick who's going to lose this one.
Tank ball.
Basically,
This is tank.
Redskins
This is the
have to
tank.
win this.
This is the tank for Tua game. This is the game that decides who gets Tua.
this is TFT, Team Fortress 2. Just kidding. Tank for Tua.
I mean, like Cole said, if the Reds, I don't know. Go ahead, Cole.
Yo, I honestly feel like if the Redskins win, they did something wrong. They can't even tank properly.
I don't even know.
Like, I feel like that's just something.
I don't
I'm
even know
picking
if
the
we
Redskins
got
to win.
I don't even know if the Redskins even got the one pick. If they even picked Tua.
I don't even know who the Redskins quarterback is.
It's Case Keenum this
Case
week. That's
Keenum
why I'm
this
picking
week.
the
Oh.
Redskins.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cole.
Didn't even know he was on the Redskins.
He was the starter for 3 games.
No
Just
idea.
that bad.
No clue.
I'm not gonna waste my time and watch the Redskins. Who would ever do that?
True.
Not me.
Can't argue with that.
This is just it's just sad. It's like this. You know what?
It's
This game might just be entertaining as hell, just because they're just not gonna play
Watch this
defense.
game be so close.
Watch this game be like 49-46 or something.
Okay, I mean, if you look at this logically,
Guess the Redskins.
The
just 'cause
Redskins
the Dolphins are
probably should
committing
win
to
this
tanking.
Yeah, the Redskins will mess up their tank by winning.
but the
guaranteed.
Redskins, this is such a classic way to screw up and actually win.
I need Chris
win when
Thompson
you
to
should be
score some
losing.
touchdowns. So
Look, the Redskins' new head coach, they fired Gruden. They got rid of him, which is not
doesn't-
surprising to anybody.
They still
it means
suck.
nothing at all.
Dan Snyder needs
But
to get rid of
their
they
new
wanna be good.
Dan Snyder doesn't care about this team. Their new head coach, or quote unquote, their interim head coach, has already said the Redskins are going to commit to a run game when we don't
thank
have
you.
an
Please
O-line.
use Chris Thompson. Please use Chris
They have
Thompson.
literally
1,000
said
times.
they're going to commit to
Please.
running at least 40 times a game.
Please, I need
Good
those
lord.
fantasy
That
points.
that's how little faith they have in our quarterback situation, and how
I do
little
too.
talent. So I mean, with Chris Thompson, Adrian
But
Peterson,
don't be afraid to throw it to Chris Thompson, because that's just even.
I mean, they're only gonna throw it to Chris. To
Do
the
some
running back.
check downs.
So you got Adrian Peterson and Chris Thompson, who are going to be the majority of the Redskins' offense, which we already know barely functions. The Dolphins have no defense at all. They give
I
up.
don't even know who was on the Dolphins besides
They-
Josh Rosen.
They give up massive amount of rush yards every game. They give up massive amount of pass yards every game. They have no defense either. I would pick the Redskins only due to the fact that the Redskins actually have a slightly better O-line and a slightly better... No, we don't have a better defense, but we have a slightly better O-line and I guess some talent on offense, I guess. Well, the Dolphins don't. So I got the Redskins barely, I guess. Maybe a touchdown, a field goal. This is their only win this year, so...
Dude,
If they lose
both
this
these teams,
game, if they lose this game, for the record, I am not watching another Redskins. Well, I'm not gonna watch this game barely anyway. But I am a diehard Redskins fan. I won't watch another Redskins game this year if they manage to lose this game. That's all. I mean, they shouldn't lose this game. This should be the only win. But knowing the Redskins, they will.
Both teams are just gonna like run up to the goal line and just stand there like, I don't want to score. There's nothing stopping me from scoring. We're
These
supposed to
teams,
lose.
They're just like opening a door saying, please walk through. It's the end zone. Have it. And the other team's just like, I don't want them.
I don't want it.
But
Like,
I want Tua.
I don't know, man. You could honestly.
Just pick one.
Where is this game? Is this in Washington?
It's in Miami.
You know what? Miami's look relatively. They've had some relatively close games in Miami. I mean, before they get blown out, of course. They've had some relatively close games.
Yo,
but
I'm
their
straight up
defense is
taking
so
it.
bad that I think the Redskins will actually look good this game, unfortunately. So, yeah, I have the Skins.
All right. Did everybody pick?
Yep.
All right, cool. Eagles, Vikings. I'm taking the Eagles
Eagles.
because I don't trust Kirk Cousins.
Eagles
at all.
should win.
No one should.
Vikings got lucky. They were playing a really bad defense.
All right,
yeah,
next.
pick Eagles.
Chiefs, Texans. I'm taking the Chiefs. I don't
Chiefs.
think Patrick Mahomes has two bad games.
The Texans
even bad.
defense is really bad. We're not really bad, but not good.
I mean, it's not the best, but I
This is going to be a great offensive game for the record. I think, you know what? I think Deshaun Watson balls out this game over Patrick Mahomes. Or they have a shootout, and I think Deshaun Watson wins. I think he wins. I picked the Texans.
okay.
As long as
Saints,
DeAndre
Jags.
Hopkins scores like 2 touchdowns, I don't care.
So you got the you two got the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Saints, Jags. I'm taking the Saints. I don't
Saints.
trust the Jags.
Yeah. Saints should win.
Seahawks, Brown. I'm taking
Seahawks.
because Russell Wilson's like returning
Crush
to
the
MVP
Browns.
form. I don't know how, but he is.
Yeah, that they Browns have no chance. They just
Even
don't.
though I just want to say this much, the past 2 times they have played, was December 20th of 2015. The Seahawks beat them 30-13, and the Browns won in 2011 6-3.
Yeah, but like for the record,
Davian Clowney might break the single game record for sacks.
He might honestly get like 9 sacks this game. The Browns O-line looks like just dog shit.
I know.
Oh, it's terrible. And
this is a pretty simple one you should be able to pick, though. Ravens-Bengals.
Ravens.
Don't you dare pick the Bengals.
Yeah.
You know
I don't
it's not
want to
happening.
pick them, but because like the
Bengals fans don't want to pick the Bengals.
But like I like the Bengals, like I really do. They're just a bad team. There's nothing to it. They're also, by the way, they're also in a tank as well. So.
Well, duh. It's the race for Tua. I think it was
3 teams tanking for Tua right now.
No, it's 4. It's
4,
the Bengals.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's the Bengals, Redskins, Dolphins, and who was the? I saw one more, but I can't.
There's
remember.
another winless team. I just can't remember.
Cardinals.
No, they
Cardinals
just won.
don't want Tua. Why would they get Tua?
Sorry, the Falcons are technically in it because they have
No, they
1
can
and
take
4.
that. They can
Falcons
take that.
aren't trying to be in it though.
No, they're not trying to be.
The
They just
Cardinals
are in it because they're
one of
that
the
bad.
teams that are going to be racing for them. The Rams 49ers though.
Why would the Cardinals draft Tua?
They're not going to draft.
But the
him. They're
Cardinals
gonna
have
trade
a
the
win now.
And
though.
Patriots just got another pick.
Wow.
MLB update 1-4 in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's not going well for Tampa.
Negative.
The Broncos are probably trying to tank for Tua.
Well, they're not.
The
really
Broncos aren't
tanking,
trying,
though.
but they definitely might for sure.
We need to pick that Niners-Rams. I'm picking the Niners. Honest.
Niners, Rams. That's gonna.
The Niners have the number
hell
1
of a
rushing
game.
attack, but their passing game's okay, but their defense is solid.
The Rams
Yeah.
look surprisingly bad.
Rams.
This year.
Really? All right.
You know.
I don't trust Jared Goff enough. He just looks bad. Like, team offensively just does not look great.
I mean, besides last week when they played the Browns and just looked incredible, the Niners haven't looked spectacular.
but their
they
defense
have
is too
won,
solid.
But their defense is good, and their defense has won the games they've needed to win.
Yeah, that's why I like.
I think Todd Gurley
I'm
has
taking
a.
literally their defense.
I think Todd Gurley has a terrible game, so the Niners win.
All right, here's one because it's the Battle of the Birds. The car.
Battle of the
Take
Birds.
Falcons. Yeah, Falcons versus the Cardinals.
Gotcha.
Oh, never mind.
I'm taking the Falcons. I don't trust
Yeah.
the Cardinals to win.
Cardinals
the
barely
Falcons.
beat the Bengals, so yeah, Falcons should win this one.
Cowboys Jets.
Cowboys should destroy the Jets.
You know, I'm taking the Jets.
If the Cowboys
Just
do what
kidding.
they did against the Packers, they'll lose. But I mean, they won't. So yeah,
I'm taking the Cowboys. Here's a fun one: the Titans and the Broncos.
God.
Dude, I'm picking check down Flacco.
No, they're not
I'm
gonna. He's
taking the
not.
Broncos.
He's
I
not gonna.
can't pick Flacco.
But the Titans' defense is better than the Chargers' defense is.
I don't care.
I got Titans over Broncos barely. So you got.
I'm taking the Broncos.
Now, who did you pick, Cole?
Titans.
It's just because I need what is it, Noah Fant or whatever. Do really well.
All right.
Nah.
I just don't see the Broncos. The offense is not good enough to beat a good defense.
All right, Steelers Chargers. I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, the Chargers.
The Steelers have a 29th ranked offense.
You know what,
They're so
Austin?
bad.
You know what, Austin? I'm gonna give your Pittsburgh team a chance. I picked the Steelers because the Chargers' defense is horrendous.
They're better than the
so-
Steelers offense.
I'm not even sure it is. I really am not sure.
They have the 11th ranked defense right now.
I honestly don't know if the Steelers' offense. I don't know if the Chargers' defense is better than the Steelers' offense. I really
I'm
don't.
warning you right now.
I know that the
They're-
Steelers' offense is terrible and their defense is not much better. But I think the Chargers aren't going to be able to score on the Steelers. That's what I think.
Oh, okay. I think Austin Eckler and Melvin Gordon just run out of field.
Yeah, that's very possible. But Minka's really, really had an incredible start to the season with the Steelers. So, since he's been traded, he's been great on the Steelers.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the problem. Okay, I'm gonna say this: the problem with the Steelers. The Steelers' problem isn't the fact that their defense is bad. They're really beat up in the middle because they used to have Ryan Shazier, who was literally their backbone of that defense. because he was one of the last people from like the steel wall.
Steel curtain.
No, the steel curtain was way older. I don't even know what
okay.
we used to call him, but like it was when it was like Ryan Shazier was learning from the greats like Palomalu, Ryan Clark,
right?
Some like those old Steeler players who had been there for all the Super Bowls over the past like 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, I guess since the first 2008.
They just showed a stat. Sorry, not to interrupt. They just showed a stat on this Patriots and Giants game. The total rush yards for both teams doesn't even eclipse 50 combined.
Haha, that sounds all right.
Like, how are the Patriots
about
not
to score
stomping
again, too,
this team? My God. Anyway, continue. I had to
about
point
to score,
that
and they're in the red zone.
Oh, of course.
They just scored.
Oh, cool. I didn't get the update. All right, last one is the Lions.
Lions, Packers.
Picking the Packers, dude.
Packers.
Packers are gonna whoop them. Not even close.
Upset alert! Lions over Packers.
Okay.
Okay, all right. And then here's the Thursday game for next week: the Chiefs and Broncos.
Chiefs and Broncos.
I'm taking the Chiefs. I think the Broncos defense that good.
Yeah, the Chiefs won't be able to. The Broncos won't be able to score enough to keep up.
All right. So there's that. All right, we got our picks done. I'm gonna go.
Austin, you are clearly clutching at the grapes to talk about something.
I am, because I saw it earlier today.
You rushed through those picks. I was like, you're rushing through those picks. What is it?
Because I don't want to take too long.
Yeah, I got it.
But it's like, over the past week, I have seen so much crap about Zion, Williams. I don't want to hear anybody say anything. I saw a comparison today that compared him to Shaq.
Shaq.
Wow.
I said,
he hasn't played a single game in the NBA.
What?
And he's being compared to Shaq.
They said, oh, are we going to compare him to LeBron? Are we going to compare him to Shaq? I'm like, time out. What? I said, what in the little hell are you guys thinking?
So this was That's
not even a comparison.
Like, okay, you gotta understand. This started before he even played his first college game, right? Before he was even starting games in Duke, they were debating which team was going to get the number 1 pick to draft him. So This has been around him his whole career, basically, since he became relevantly known, right? And this is another reason why I hate the NBA right now, but they overhyped the hell out of prospects. I mean, this is in every single major sport conference right now, but because there's so little, or because the talent, like the quote unquote color talent that these analysts have, because they have no actual talent, they go and they overhype these prospects who, don't get me wrong, Zion's a good player. He's not Shaq already.
He's not even LeBron. When LeBron came in, so LeBron's first game in the league, like LeBron's changed a lot about the league, but his first game in the league, he still
exactly,
and he was the primary ball.
Yeah,
and instantly made it.
Yeah, I know, but Zion's not going to do that.
Zion is not the primary ball. He is only. I think they rated him at 6. Actually, I think he was like. They initially rated. Yeah, they initially rated him at 6'7", but he dropped the 6'6".
Yeah, I mean, look,
Look, he goes up into the paint, and I'm not joking when I say it. Dwight Howard is a little bit slept on. Dwight Howard, sitting at a little over 7 foot, is not going to let that man in the paint that easy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Dwight Howard's getting kind of old.
I don't know how much you watched of him when he played at Duke.
I watched a little bit. I would pick up games now, but not very often.
The Carolina Tar Heels played him twice, so we saw him.
Oh yeah, I know.
And we played Duke.
We played Duke twice, and he played both games. Cool. That's what I'm saying.
Zion did not play the first game.
Oh, that's right. He was injured.
Got injured.
Right. Okay. So we played him once, and when we played him, we beat. I think the Tar Heels beat him, right?
We destroyed them the first game, but we lost to him the second game by 1.
Okay. In both of the games, I mean, he was good. He wasn't incredible. he was good. He was about average for a player of his caliber, but he was not just like blow your mind out of the water. Holy shit, this guy's going to be the next LeBron. He wasn't like that during most of the Duke season, to be honest, into the March Madness season. I didn't see this stud superstar talent blowing people out of the water. I really
lost
didn't.
to Michigan State in the Elite Eight.
I mean, like, I don't know.
Who's an NBA prospect out of Michigan?
I just maybe it's not like maybe I'm not seeing it what everyone else is seeing, that he's just gonna be dunking on every single human alive from the foul line. But
hold up, give me a second. I'm gonna look this up.
I just don't see how you can like. This is what I hate about the current NBA and especially the NBA because they do this more than any other league. But they overhype the hell out of these players, and when they disappoint compared to the hypeness, they act like they're disappointing. Like.
Yeah, no, like
if he doesn't have a MVP type season, his rookie season, they're gonna pretend like this guy is like the biggest flop alive.
All right, tell me right now, is he going to be able to do? So like everybody's coming in, he's going to be able to do all this, body everybody. I mean, yeah, he weighs what? I think they said he weighed like 280.
That's decent.
The large human.
That's a pretty big dude.
You're gonna tell me he's going to body 7-foot Joel Embiid?
No. I think Joel Embiid's better than
the
him.
Eiffel Tower Rudy Gobert.
Touchdown Giants.
Hey, there you go. He's going to be able to sit there and body Rudy Gobert? No,
probably not.
Like I'm trying to like find an exact list of everybody.
Yeah.
You see,
I just
like people who are rated at the center. Some of these guys who are defensive, like cornerstones for their team. I mean, LaMarcus Aldridge isn't that.
No.
Or neither is DeMarcus Cousins or LaMarcus Aldridge, DeMarcus Cousins. Got them.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, like, I don't see him being able to do that. DeAndre Jordan.
I'm not even like, just to, like, to put out my whole perspective on this. It's just what I'm not even a huge fan of Zion myself. I don't particularly like the guy that much. I have nothing, I guess, against him personally, but I'm not just a big fan of him. But I think how the analysts, and especially these color commentators, I think it's really unfair to the people who are coming in, these high prospects, these high, potential stars. It's very unfair to them to have them come in and expect them to just MVP perform over everybody in the league. Like, that doesn't seem, nobody does that their first couple seasons. Maybe within a few seasons, sure, they could have an MVP type performance, but it's just really unfair to expect them to be miles above all this NBA professional player talent that's already there, or any other sport for that matter.
Yeah, because it's like the jump from college to pros. It's a totally different game.
It's a huge difference, and it's not going to be just recognized within the first game. Yeah, he's going to have great moments, but he's not going to be a MVP his first year. He's just not. There's been players who are trying to be that person for years in the NBA already. They've had tons of experience.
Dude, I kind of feel bad because I feel like if he tries to pull some crap on like I'm saying like LeBron, let's say KD was playing too, LeBron, KD, some of these guys who've been in the league for a while,
yeah,
they ain't gonna let him just slide. Like Anthony Davis, like some of these guys, man, they're gonna play him rough. He's undersized for supposed to be a small / power forward. He's 6'6".
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, he's got time to. I'm not gonna. I'm definitely not saying he's gonna do bad.
No,
I just think it's kind of weird, a 6'6" post scorer, paint beast kind of guy. Like, it's not gonna work until people grow in the NBA. We've seen it happen.
Yeah.
So he's gonna grow probably. He's what? 20, 19?
Yeah, I mean, he's not mature. He's not fully matured, no.
No, so that's my point. It's just I don't like seeing. I just thought the comparison to Shaq was absolutely idiotic.
It is idiotic, but that's what analysts do nowadays. They make outrageous statements so they can get views, clicks, and likes.
Yeah, and I feel like that's just.
And it's just
maybe
we should. Maybe that's how we get big views. I don't know. Maybe my statement about what I think maybe my statement about what I honestly think about the NBA season will piss enough people off.
I'm telling you right now, we're making a bold statement. Wizards are winning the championship.
Wizards winning championships. I bet 10 grand on it. 120% guaranteed profit. Right?
Exactly.
That's how you get all the views.
That wasn't even a
It's so dumb.
sentence at the end.
That's how you get all the
That
views,
was just
right?
a bunch of words.
Follow my Twitter. No, that's
Twitter.
I don't.
Dude, also he's not going to do to Giannis. Not going to do shit to you.
I don't know, dude. I honestly to me these personal beefs and matchups that people pretend to care about in the NBA, they don't. They just want to get paid and they want to play. That's it. That's what I personally. I don't think there's anything. I don't think anyone has an actual quote unquote grievance with another player in the league at all. I at least I don't buy it.
Well, the thing about Zion is he can't shoot.
Yeah, he can't
You're right.
really. He doesn't
his
have.
only shot is a set shot, but it's only from like 8 feet away.
In his first preseason game, he was 12 for 13. Not a single shot he took out of the paint.
Yep.
Did you actually see? It's also his first game. He stole that ball from I forgot. I don't know who it was, but it was or maybe it was like summer league or something. But the guy just got the board and he was like trying to get ready to throw it up, and Zion just came over and ripped it out of his hand. Yeah, he did that to a boy.
Yeah.
Do that to Giannis, who's got. Yeah,
of course, this is what the NBA is. They hype up the player enough to the point where people love him, and now they're expecting him to do momentous, mind-revolutioning things. And
also,
when
you do that to Harden,
doesn't,
dude, you're gonna foul out. Like I'm telling you right now, Zion. If you ever hear this, do that to Harden. You're fouling out within like the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, that's not gonna be a good.
Please don't do that. We want to see you play.
Like when this is what the NBA has become, and that's another reason why I don't like the NBA.
I get it. I get it's become soft, but that's also because the Golden State Warriors have changed the league into a 3-point shooting league. So.
True, I understand. And every sports league has become softer now. It's just a fact. But
oh yeah, even hockey. Like hockey's become. It's still by far the most violent sport, but it's become much softer.
I mean, in NFL, if you touch someone in the face mask, you get a holding penalty. So
Dude, I think somebody I think a Giants guy smacked a Redskin quarterback. I don't remember who it was in the back of the head, and it was a roughing the passer call. Same thing happened to Ben Roethlisberger.
Same thing happened in the Packers game.
Rocks. It was so funny.
Same thing happened in the Packers game against the Dak Prescott. He was getting attacked by a linebacker, and the guy hit the helmet with his hand, and he got called roughing the passer. So I mean,
actually, I'm pretty sure the Rams.
How do you get called for roughing the passer when he doesn't throw the ball?
That's amazing.
Wasn't that Clay Matthews also did the same thing?
Yeah, Clay Matthews got
that happened to him so many
Giants.
times.
Yeah.
Oh, they score again.
Brady fumbled and they recovered it for a touchdown.
Damn! Look at the Patriots
like I said,
blowing
dude,
a game.
right now they lose one game they shouldn't every year.
Yeah, this would be a massive game to lose. My God, at home too. Wow, that would be
Saquon's
insane.
not even playing.
Right? Like I didn't even play Wayne Gallman because I figured there's just no way the Patriots let them do anything, and they haven't. To be
Evan
fair,
Ingram's supposed to get like 0 points this week.
it's insane. It really is.
It's okay. All right. Well, let's check
Ingram's
the score.
injured.
Is he? I didn't think he was. My app didn't say he was.
I think he is.
Oh, there you go. It is still 4-1, bottom of the 7, and Tampa Bay. So now, looking like we're seeing an Astros move on, but that's
Astros, Yankees, ALCS, probably the only one that will actually be what people thought it was.
Yeah, right. The NLCS just got shot.
October baseball,
7 times.
man. It really
well,
is
I mean,
wild.
like I said, baseball is one of the best sports in the playoffs.
It can be. It really can be. But it can also be one of the
the most boring things.
So yeah, it can be also incredibly boring, and everyone does what they were supposed to, and then you could have like last year. I didn't think it was that interesting, but maybe everyone else did. I don't know.
All right, Ryan, close us out.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching this long episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. We are out Dan again this year. Week.
Well, I mean, it might be a year. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah, you never know.
he's almost done. He's almost done with football. You've got a couple more weeks.
Yeah, they got a couple more weeks of him having to coach football and stuff like that. So we'll see how long he'll be out for. But we do always have Cole here, who is always an excellent conversationalist and well thought out, scripted information brings quite the enjoyment.
It's not hard to tell you you're wrong.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I'm not going to continue this. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. Remember to check out also our highlight clips on our YouTube page. They go up after the weekly episode is done. It is small, usually less than 10-minute highlights of our major segments, our popular topics, something that just, if you don't feel like listening to the whole thing, you can listen to or watch whatever you would like to. Just small segments of certain parts of the podcast where we talk about certain individuals or certain sports. However you guys like it, they'll go up each and every week after the main podcast. Remember to follow us on Twitter, where I post all the updates to every video that comes out in case it doesn't get to your subscription box. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy. And we are the Big 3 Sportscast, and we will see you guys next week. Have a great one.